morning, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2024 International Mayors Forum. Please give a big round of applause for this remarkable event. And it is such a heartwarming as well to see everyone gather here in Jakarta. Hi everyone, thank you for coming and flying into this city. So at the beginning, we presented to you the dance, Jakarta Urban Dance. It depicted the Jakarta growth and the public transportations that have grown rapidly in the city. And it also depicted and encapsulates the IMF's of 2024 theme, which is accelerating action at the local level to achieve the 2030 agenda and the sustainable development goals. So we're going to have 3 days in a row and we're going to discuss about this topic. And the 2024 International Mayors Forum is organized by the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs and the government of the Republic of Indonesia, represented by the Jakarta Special Region in collaboration with the United Cities and local governments in Asia Pacific and the local 2030 coalition. And it is my privilege as the Master of Ceremony, and I am also going through all of the processions with you throughout the 3-day forum. And how remarkable it is to see everyone here in Jakarta as we gather to have our own sharing values, which is advancing sustainable development at the local level. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we start, allow me to welcome and say hello to the guests of honors that are already presented and here among us this morning. First up, the acting governor of Jakarta and the co-president of the United Cities and Local Government Asia Pacific, Honorable Mr. Heru Budi Hartono. Selamat pagi, Bapak. Selamat datang. And also would like to say hello to the Secretary of Planning of Ecuador, Ms. Sariha Moya. Good morning to you. Where are you? Oh, hi. Good morning. And also would like to say good morning dan selamat pagi kepada Director General of Regional Development, Ministry of Home Affairs of Indonesia, Mr. Restu Ardi Daud. Selamat pagi, Bapak. The Assistant to Secretary General for Economic Development of the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, Mr. Nafid Hanif. Good morning to you, sir. And also the Director General of Multilateral Cooperation from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Indonesia, Mr. Tri Pariat. Selamat pagi. Head UN Office for Sustainable Development, Department of Economic and Social Affairs, Mr. Chun Kyo Park. Good morning to you, sir. And also Secretary General, United Cities and Local Government, Asia Pacific, Ms. Bernadia Irawati Chandra Dewi. Selamat pagi. And of course, honorable speakers and moderators and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll hear from all of our esteemed speakers engaged in thought-provoking discussions which opens ample opportunities for networkings and collaborations, and we are confident that this is the forum to have meaningful dialogue and as well as actionable outcomes. Ladies and gentlemen, to get a glimpse of Jakarta's 2030 agenda and sustainable development, now I would like to invite everyone to watch the video of SDGs Jakarta. So let's watch the videos together.
Building sustainable cities is a mission that is carried out in the present for the good of the future. Jakarta is committed to carrying out said mission, ensuring a city with more resilience and livability. Not only Jakarta has grown into an advanced metropolis, it is ready to transform into a global city on par with developed cities in the world. As a commitment, Jakarta implements 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which are centered on 5 dimensions: people, planet, prosperity, peace, and partnership. This year, Jakarta acts as the host of the International Mayors Forum on 2 until 4 July 2024. In this meeting, Jakarta will present documents on the achievements of the Sustainable Development Goals contained in the voluntary local reviews. This is the second VLR from Jakarta with the theme of Building a Livable and Sustainable Global City. In this theme, Jakarta raises 3 main issues: accessibility, livability, and environment. Citizen mobility is constantly improved thanks to the integrated public transportation access. In line with the spirit of maintaining a balance between economic growth, ecological sustainability, and social justice. Currently, the Transjakarta bus route covers 537.5 kilometers and is the longest bus rapid transit system in the world. Integrated with the Jakarta MRT line, which has underground and elevated lines. Good environmental quality is an indicator of a livable city. For this reason, managing waste is a shared responsibility. Reducing, sorting, and recycling waste has been carried out by Jakarta residents. The result of this waste selection can encourage a circular economy by processing waste into reusable materials, such as compost and recycled products, which can be utilized by various industries. The marine environment is also continually being preserved. One of the pilot projects carried out in Jakarta is to restore green mussels. This program aims to restore the green mussel population and improve seawater quality. In this program, the public is educated about the ecological importance of green mussels, which promotes their sustainable use. With a number of best practices implemented, Jakarta is ready to accelerate the 2030 Agenda and the Sustainable Development Goals. Together, let us protect the Earth for a better future.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to Jakarta's commitment as it thrives as a global city, and keeping in mind and the timeline as the 2030 agenda is on the line as well, and the sustainable development goals for one of the urban cities of Indonesia. And now, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we would like to invite Mr. Nafid Hanif, the Assistant Secretary General for Economic Development of the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, to deliver his remarks. Please welcome Mr. Nafid Hanif.
Good morning. Selamat pagi. Thank you for the opportunity. Terima kasih. On behalf of the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, let me welcome all of you to this International Mayors Forum for this year. Thank you for traveling from various parts of the world to join us here. I'm honored to join the opening session of the 6th edition of the Mayors Forum. Let me begin by thanking the Honorable Acting Governor, mayors and governors who have traveled, delegates and representatives of civil society. But above all, let me thank the government of the Special Region of Jakarta and the government of Indonesia for hosting the forum and for their very warm traditional hospitality. I also want to thank our organizing partners, especially the United Cities and local governments Asia Pacific and the local 2030 coalition. Last part of protocol, I also want to acknowledge and sincerely appreciate the work done by the RC and her team, and my outstanding team from the UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of Romania, who is a former mayor, Klaus Iohannis, said, "Mayors have the power to change the world, one city at a time. By embracing sustainability, they can create livable, resilient, and prosperous communities." In my view, He eloquently captured the overarching objective of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and its Sustainable Development Goals, which are meant to create an inclusive, resilient, prosperous future for all on a healthy planet. A future in which no one is left behind. But we know such future will be created in the cities and at the local levels. Why? Because nearly 70% of the world's population expected to live in cities by 2050. Cities consume over 2/3 of the world's energy and are responsible for more than 75% of energy-related greenhouse gas emissions. Cities also contribute as much as 80% of the global GDP. 65% of the SDG targets are linked to the work and mandates of local and regional governments. Realization of 90% of the SDGs targets is related directly or indirectly with infrastructure investments. And most of these will happen in urban areas, especially in developing countries. That is why the SDG Summit last year identified localization of SDGs as one of the high-impact initiatives that could drive SDG implementation. But mayors, it is the same summit that issued the call to rescue the SDGs. The SDG Progress Report 2024, which was launched by the Secretary General on Friday, tells us that only 17% of the targets are on track. SDGs are indeed dire need of a booster, and we do not have a moment to lose. The deadline is fast approaching. The clock is ticking. Ladies and gentlemen, I just don't want to paint a grim picture. I have also read very encouraging stories of how the cities and local governments are embracing SDGs and driving action. Right here in Indonesia, Jakarta's Smart City Initiative, Surabaya Waste Management Program, Bandung Public Transportation Improvement, and Bali Life Below Water are advancing implementation to give us hope and courage to meet this challenge. We have also heard reassuring stories from all over the world, from Kerala to Cape Town, from Gothenburg to Freiburg, and Barcelona to Toyama. It's all what the mayors have accomplished. Above all, 10,000 cities and local governments have joined the Global Covenant of Mayors for Climate and Energy. You are leading action. Local and regional governments are the beacon of hope. You will drive change. But the change must increasingly focus Let me welcome the Honorable Minister. Thank you, Minister, for joining us. Thank you. The change must focus on structural and transformational changes if you really want to put this world on a sustainable path. And why so? Why can't we continue with business as usual? Why can't we just do tinkering on the margins? And let me tell you why that will not work. We have identified 6 key transitions that every society will have to undergo. There is no choice. There are no options. These transitions include food systems, and you already see because of climate change, you have to rethink your food systems. Energy access and affordability. Digital connectivity, which also includes artificial intelligence. Education, jobs and social protection. Climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. These transitions are imperative and require structural changes. Those changes at the national and subnational levels would span from improving governance to rethinking policy to managing trade-offs, and above all, reorienting our markets. Let's not measure prosperity just by GDP growth. Measure prosperity for the well-being of society, for the health of this planet. And that will be a systemic shift in mindset, the way we measure our growth, well-being, and prosperity. But ladies and gentlemen, local action is critical. It does not happen in a vacuum. You are directly impacted by the global events. Many countries are still grappling with the short and long-term effects of global events ranging from COVID-19, conflicts, inflation, rising cost of capital, growing trade protectionism, and ravages of climate change. These are taking a heavy toll on our societies in terms of living standards, lives and livelihoods, social cohesion, and basic human security. There is a growing call. Global community has to act in solidarity to address these challenges. I also want to add special emphasis to affordable and long-term finance that every government needs. We have a 4.5 trillion SDG financing gap. That's why the UN Secretary General has repeatedly called for the implementation of the SDG stimulus. Let me assure you, the UN is trying to advance solutions at the global level. I urge you to add your voice and ideas to these efforts, starting with the Summit of the Future, which will be held in September in New York this year. The 4th Conference on Financing for Development and the World Summit for Social Development, both will be held next year in June and September. This forum's deliberations will also contribute to the high-level political forum starting next week in New York. We are listening to you. We want your contributions. Your voices should be loud and clear about the global actions that are needed for local governments to deliver on the promise of leaving no one behind. Ladies and gentlemen, as I acknowledge, the challenges are global, but the solutions often begin at the local levels. As the UN Secretary General said, cities are where the climate battle will largely be won or lost. I believe that collaboration and knowledge sharing among cities are vital. Forums like this provide an invaluable platform for exchanging innovative ideas and successful strategies. I urge all of us to strengthen our partnerships, both within our cities and with our counterparts around the world. By working together, we can amplify our impact and accelerate the transition to a sustainable, inclusive, and climate-resilient future. Let me assure you that my department, UNDESA, remains your partner with unwavering commitment to advance localization of the SDGs for accelerated implementation. And we have just 6.5 years to go. Let me conclude by a quote from Mayor of Barcelona, Ada Colau. Local authorities have the unique ability to innovate and implement sustainable solutions that can inspire the rest of the world. Let's inspire each other and the whole world with boundless enthusiasm and commitment for bold actions to create a prosperous future for everyone on a healthy planet. We owe it to succeeding generations. Thank you again for your engagement and participation. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hanif, for the remarks. It is indeed a lot of concerns and challenges that are faced by cities, and it is also beyond importance that cities lead where this planet is actually going. So who will actually now rule the world? The mayors it is, right? And before we start, would like to say welcome to the Minister of National Development Planning, or the head of Bappenas, His Excellency Mr. Suharto Mono Arfa. Terima kasih Bapak, dan selamat datang di acara 2024 International Mayors Forum. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next we are honored to invite Mr. Restu Ardi Daud, the Director General of Regional Development, Ministry of Home Affairs, to deliver his remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Restu Ardi Daud.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace be upon us. To begin this opportunity, please allow me to convey greetings from the Minister of Home Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, and express his apologies for not being able to attend this important meeting, since at the same time he's carrying duties abroad, and asked me to convey his remark in this IMF forum. The Honorable Minister for National Development Planning, also the head of National Development Planning Agency, Governor of the Special Region of Jakarta, Assistant Secretary General for Economic Development, United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, Directorate General Multilateral, Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Secretary General of United Cities and Local Government of Asia Pacific, UN Resident Coordinator for Indonesia, representative of UN agencies and international experts or their representative, head of regions for all represented countries, and ladies and gentlemen. On this occasion, I'd like to extend my sincere appreciation to the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs as the initiator and organizer of this event, and also the provincial government of Jakarta as the host, and also all of the partners and committee members involved in making the forum possible. I also extend my gratitude for all of you for your presence here today, and it is an honor for me to be here with all of you, the heads of regions from various participating countries, who undoubtedly bring incredible enthusiasm from your respective area to contribute the implementation of Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. Ladies and gentlemen, the global community has made a strong commitment to implementing the SDGs. Sustainable development is not merely a discourse. It is a critical need that must be fulfilled to ensure the survival and well-being of present and future generations. Indonesia, as one of the countries committed to implementing the SDGs, has taken various strategic steps to integrate them into national policies and development programs, as well as regional development. Ongoing initiatives to reach the SDGs targets in Indonesia are showing promising outcomes. However, we acknowledge that Indonesia has significant tasks ahead in achieving the SDGs. Successfully attaining these goals depends not only on governmental efforts, but also demands active engagement from all societal sectors, such as private sector, academia, and also the civil society organization. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the growing trend of urbanization, where more people are moving to urban areas, poses a development challenge for many cities globally. Projections indicated that by the 2050, around 68% of the world population will live in urban areas. It is essential to create public access to strategic urban spaces to enable people to leverage the benefits of urban living. Therefore, it is relevant that this year's International Mayor Forum will focus on discussing 6 case transitions as investment pathways to achieve the SDGs. According to the World Economic Forum in Global Risks Report 2024, over the past decade, global environmental risks have ranked among the top 4 global risks worldwide. These risks include severe climate change, disruptions to Earth system, biodiversity loss, and ecosystem disruption, and diminishing national resources. In terms of education, according to the UNESCO report, there are still approximately 258 million children who are out of school, with poverty being one of the main barriers to access. Additionally, according to the data from a Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, 282 million people across 59 countries face severe hunger in 2023, an increase of 24 million from the previous years. The escalation in hunger rates is linked partly to issues such as political instability and global conflicts. Meanwhile, environmental challenges such as climate change persist in threatening agriculture and food productivity in the future. From those perspectives, it's evident that the global community faces numerous and intricate challenges in achieving sustainable development. Consequently, there are several aspects we must collectively strengthen to accelerate the achievement of SDGs. Firstly, enhancing collaborating and partnerships. Collaboration across regions, both domestically and internationally, facilitates the exchange of ideas and technologies to tackle diverse challenges encountered by its regions. Secondly, innovation and technology. We must continue to promote innovation across diverse sectors, including renewable energy usage, environmentally friendly waste management, and various technological innovations in other sectors. Thirdly, empowering and engaging the community. It is crucial that every policy and program we undertake actively involves and inclusively engages the community, aligning with the SDGs principle of ensuring no one left behind. In this context, the role of mayors is crucial as they lead the implementation of policies and programs that support sustainable development at the local levels. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to everyone who attended this International Mayor Forum 2024. I hope policymakers, city leaders, and stakeholders attending here can use this forum to engage in dialogue and exchange knowledge about urban challenges and promoting local acceleration action for the 2030 Agenda and SDGs. I am optimistic that we can draw valuable lessons from the experiences and best practices shared by different countries and organizations. By fostering close international collaboration and strong synergy, we can address complex and dynamic global challenges effectively and create a better, sustainable world for future generations. Thank you very much, and terima kasih. Selamat pagi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Daud, for the remarks. It is also very proud to say that Indonesia is aligning its mission on the 2030 Agenda as well as SDGs nationally and regionally. And talking about Jakarta, we're talking about who rule the world, mayors. Jakarta has 6 mayors and only 1 governor, of course. And Jakarta is a city that always carries the burden of having a lot of diverse origins. Just like us today, it is a melting pot of diverse origins who will share the ideas and thoughts to have actionable outcomes on SDGs and cities governance and solutions. All right, so it is time then for now to us inviting the acting governor of Jakarta and the co-president of UCLG Asia Pacific to deliver his remarks. Please welcome the Honorable Mr. Heru Budi Hartono.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me to deliver my remarks in Bahasa Indonesia, so you may use the handset for translation. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu sekalian, selamat pagi. Yang kami muliakan, kami hormati Menteri Perencanaan Pembangunan Nasional, Kepala Bappenas, Bapak Suharto Manoarfa. Terima kasih Bapak sudah hadir. Yang mulia Asisten Sekretaris Jenderal untuk Pembangunan Ekonomi, Departemen Urusan Ekonomi dan Sosial Perserikatan Bangsa-Bangsa, Mr. Nafid Hanif. Head of Office United Nations Office for Sustainable Development, Mr. Chun Kyo Pak. Direktur Jenderal Bina Pembangunan Daerah mewakili Menteri Dalam Negeri Republik Indonesia, Bapak Restuardi Daud. Direktur Kerjasama Multilateral Kementerian Luar Negeri Republik Indonesia, Bapak Tri Tariat. Terima kasih, Bapak. Sekretaris Jenderal United Cities and Local Government of Asia Pacific, UCLG ASPAC, Dr. Bernadia Chandra Dewi. Para gubernur dan wali kota negara anggota PBB, para delegasi, undangan, dan hadirin yang saya hormati. Selamat datang kepada seluruh delegasi International Mayors Forum 2024 di Jakarta. Kota global berjuta pesona, menjadi pusat perekonomian nasional dan akselerator pembangunan di Indonesia. Saya juga terima kasih kepada United Nations Officer for Sustainable Development yang telah mempercayakan kota Jakarta sebagai tuan rumah penyelenggara IMF tahun ini. Jumlah delegasi yang berpartisipasi mencapai 200 orang dari 36 negara dan 74 kota di kawasan Afrika, Asia, Pasifik, Amerika Latin, dan Asia Barat. Kami sangat berbangga bahwa momen ini berlangsung di tengah suasana hari ulang tahun ke-497 kota Jakarta yang masih sangat terasa. Dan acara ini hadiah bagi kami, Bapak Ibu bisa hadir di Jakarta. Sejak tahun 2017, Jakarta telah berintegrasi prinsip tujuan pembangunan berkelanjutan ke dalam rencana pembangunan daerah. Salah satunya melalui rencana aksi daerah SDGs. Kerangka peraturan ini pun menguraikan target dan indikator yang disesuaikan dengan konteks Jakarta. Secara rutin, pemerintah Provinsi Jakarta melakukan pemantauan dan evaluasi terhadap pelaksanaan rencana aksi tersebut melalui mekanisme yang ditetapkan oleh Sekretariat SDGs. Selain itu, berbagai kebijakan dan inisiatif telah diimplementasikan untuk mendorong pencapaian target SDGs di tingkat daerah. Dalam mencapai tujuan pembangunan berkelanjutan dan Agenda 2030, pemerintah Provinsi DKI Jakarta telah melakukan beberapa upaya yang berfokus pada beberapa hal. Yang pertama, penanggulangan kemiskinan, peningkatan akses terhadap pendidikan berkualitas, pengurangan ketimpangan, serta peningkatan kualitas kesehatan dan kesejahteraan masyarakat dengan meningkatkan akses terhadap layanan dasar dan infrastruktur dasar perkotaan. Mengalokasikan sekitar 18,96 triliun rupiah untuk pengentasan kemiskinan. Alokasi ini tidak ada di kota-kota lain di Indonesia, hanya ada di Jakarta dan besarnya luar biasa 18,96 triliun. Dalam rangka salah satunya mengimplementasikan program SDGs. Termasuk subsidi transportasi umum, bantuan makanan tambahan bagi anak-anak, dan dukungan finansial untuk pendidikan serta kesehatan melalui Kartu Jakarta Pintar Plus, Kartu Jakarta Mahasiswa Unggul, dan Kartu Jakarta Sehat. Yang kedua, kami berkomitmen mengurangi kelaparan dengan mendorong semua pemangku kepentingan untuk meningkatkan ketahanan pangan melalui berbagai inisiatif seperti praktek pertanian perkotaan atau urban farming, menjaga stok pangan melalui peranan badan usaha milik daerah, Food Station Cipinang Jaya, dan melaksanakan program sembako murah di berbagai kelurahan di Jakarta dengan bersinergi bersama swasta. Dan pemberian sembako murah ini kami rutin, bisa hampir setiap 2 hari sekali, pemerintah Provinsi DKI Jakarta mengadakan di berbagai kelurahan. Harapannya agar kebutuhan dasar pangan dapat dipenuhi dengan harga terjangkau di tengah melambungnya harga pangan dunia, sekaligus memastikan semua penduduk memiliki akses terhadap makanan yang cukup, aman, dan bergizi. Ketiga, menciptakan kota komunitas yang berkelanjutan. Menurut data PBB pada tahun 2018, sebanyak 55% populasi dunia tinggal di wilayah perkotaan. Angka ini diperkirakan akan terus meningkat hingga 68% di tahun 2050. Wilayah perkotaan menjadi daya tarik sebagai tujuan penghidupan, sehingga wilayah perkotaan perlu menerapkan pembangunan berkelanjutan, termasuk juga Jakarta. Kami melakukan berbagai program seperti penataan kampung kumuh, pembangunan rumah susun sederhana, dan konsolidasi tanah vertikal bagi masyarakat para prasejahtera untuk meningkatkan kualitas hidup mereka. Jadi Pemda DKI tidak melakukan pemindahan warga, ada berbagai tahapan-tahapan atau berbagai alternatif. Alternatif adalah merubah kampung kumuh menjadi rumah bertingkat yang terbatas. Berikut juga memperbaiki sarana prasarana dan tentunya pemerintah daerah juga membangun rumah susun yang cukup besar dan luas. Jakarta terus berkomitmen meningkatkan ruang terbuka hijau hingga 30% pada tahun 2030. Capaian ruang terbuka hijau Jakarta pada tahun 2023 sebanyak 5,21% dari 3.354 hektar. Untuk terus meningkatkan capaian ruang terbuka hijau. Sepanjang tahun 2023-2024, kami telah menanam sekitar 287.000 pohon, 138.000 mangrove, dan 8,8 juta tanaman. Hal ini kami lakukan selama kami menjabat sebagai Acting of Governor, yaitu 2023-2024. Terutama di daerah yang sebelumnya kekurangan ruang hijau, guna meningkatkan lingkungan perkotaan dan kualitas hidup. Selain itu, Jakarta berupaya meningkatkan kelayak hunian kota dengan mengendalikan banjir, di antaranya melalui sinergi bersama Kementerian PUPR, melaksanakan percepatan pembangunan tanggul pengaman pantai atau NCICD untuk melindungi pesisir Jakarta dari kenaikan muka air laut. Sebagai pusat aktivitas penduduk, Jakarta berupaya menghadirkan layanan transportasi berkelanjutan dengan mendorong 70% people near transit, ya ini mayoritas penduduk beraktivitas di sekitar titik simpul moda transportasi. Penerapan konsep ini melibatkan pembangunan dan peningkatan transportasi publik secara massal guna menyesuaikan masyarakat beralih menggunakan angkutan umum dalam aktivitasnya sehari-hari. Terkait pengaturan tata ruang, konsep ini juga menciptakan kemandirian kawasan dengan mendorong penyediaan berbagai macam fasilitas untuk aktivitas serta kebutuhan masyarakat dalam radius tempat tinggal mereka, sehingga dapat meningkatkan efisien mobilitas penduduk. Jakarta terus berupaya meningkatkan kesetaraan gender dengan memberikan kesempatan karir yang setara. Saat ini, 57,58% dari total pegawai yang bekerja di pemerintah Provinsi DKI Jakarta adalah perempuan. Bulan April lalu, dalam rangka merayakan Hari Kartini, sebagai peringatan perjuangan emansipasi perempuan memperoleh kesetaraan gender dan pendidikan, Pemprov DKI Jakarta menyelenggarakan acara peragaan busana dengan berjudul Sri Kandi Jakarta Langkah Sejuta Suluh. Dengan membawa pesan bahwa para perempuan memiliki ruang untuk bertumbuh, berkarya, dan memimpin di kota Jakarta. Hal ini dibuktikan dengan 27,1% dari puncak atau pucuk tertinggi pemimpin di wilayah DKI Jakarta atau di pemerintah Provinsi DKI Jakarta ditempati oleh perempuan. Jadi 27,1% pejabat DKI adalah perempuan. Kami percaya dengan terus menjaga komitmen terhadap kesetaraan gender akan mendorong terwujudnya masyarakat yang inklusif. Selain itu, Pemda DKI berupaya memastikan kemudahan akses masyarakat terhadap air bersih dan sanitasi dengan meningkatkan jaringan distribusi air bersih perpipaan, berinvestasi pada teknologi desalinasi, serta meningkatkan penangkapan air hujan untuk mencapai target 100% cakupan air bersih perpipaan pada tahun 2030. Kami juga mengoptimalkan manajemen sanitasi dengan memperluas layanan pengelolaan air limbah terpusat, termasuk pengembangan sistem pengolahan air limbah untuk mengelola air limbah domestik dan mencegah pencemaran. Pada tahun 2021, Jakarta telah menyusun dokumen Voluntary Local Review, pertamanya untuk mengkomunikasikan pencapaian Agenda 2030. Pada tahun ini, kami kembali menyusun Voluntary Local Review, yang kedua yang sedang dalam proses penyerahan kepada PBB. Penyusunan FLR merupakan wujud komitmen kami terhadap transparansi, akuntabilitas dalam upaya pencapaian SDGs di tingkat lokal. Sekaligus sarana berbagi pengalaman dan pembelajaran dari kota lain dalam pencapai SDGs. Dengan visi baru Jakarta sebagai kota global, capaian indikator SDGs melalui evaluasi Voluntary Local Review sangat membantu dalam mendeskripsikan, menentukan, dan mengadopsi indikator pembangunan daerah ke depan. Harapannya, arah kebijakan Jakarta dapat memperkuat koherensi vertikal serta berkontribusi terhadap prinsip berkelanjutan, baik di tingkat nasional maupun internasional. Oleh karena itu, saya mengundang Bapak Ibu untuk bergabung di dalam peluncuran Voluntary Local Review Jakarta tahun 2024 yang akan dilaksanakan pada esok hari di tempat ini. Voluntary Local Review Jakarta 2024 menyajikan analisa tematik atas pencapaian SDGs dan menyoroti beberapa aspek kunci dalam upaya pencapaian SDGs di Jakarta. Selaras dengan tema yang diusung, Accelerating Action at the Local Level to Achieve the 2030 Agenda and the Sustainable Development Goals. Pertemuan ini menjadi langkah penting dalam perjalanan kolektif menuju pembangunan berkelanjutan. Poin-poin yang telah disampaikan akan dibahas lebih lanjut pada pertemuan 2 hari ke depan. Mengingat urgensi waktu, penguatan sinergi dari berbagai pihak, dukungan finansial dan non-finansial, serta kerjasama regional sangat dibutuhkan untuk memastikan tercapainya SDGs pada tahun 2030 yang tadi barusan disampaikan oleh Mr. Hanif bahwa 6 tahun ke depan, waktu 6 tahun tidak terlalu lama. Bersama kita wujudkan kesejahteraan bagi seluruh lapisan masyarakat dengan mengedepankan aspek keberlanjutan. Dan mari kita menggaungkan perdamaian di penjuru dunia untuk kesejahteraan masyarakat dunia. Selamat mengikuti International Mayor Forum 2024 Semoga kita semua memperoleh pengalaman berharga selama berada di Jakarta. Terima kasih, sukses Jakarta untuk Indonesia. Selamat pagi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Heru Budi Hartono, for the remarks. Bapak mohon tetap di atas panggung. Please kindly remain on the stage as we'll do the opening procession. And joining the governor for the inaugural ceremony, I invite now to kindly take to the stage the Minister of National Development Planning, the head of Bappenas, His Excellency Mr. Suharto Mono Arfa, the Assistant Secretary General for Economic Development of the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, Mr. Nafid Hanif, Director General of Regional Development, Ministry of Home Affairs, Mr. Restu Ardi Daud, and the Director General of Multilateral Cooperation, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Tri Tariat, to mark the opening procession by sounding the kanong that we have here on the stage. That is a traditional musical instrument. The kanong is a traditional music instrument from Indonesia, commonly used in traditional Javanese and Sundanese gamelan ensembles. Excellencies, are you ready? All right, let's get ready to strike the kanong under our countdown in 3, 2, 1. All right, gentlemen, would you come forward a little bit to the front of the podium for a group picture? Pak Heru, mohon tetap di atas panggung, Pak. Kita foto sebentar. Yes, please. Show us your best pose, maybe some smile from ear to ear. This is to show our commitment and our motivation as well for the 3-day forum this year of IMF in Jakarta. All right, let's have our picture together in 3, 2, 1, and one more time. In 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you very much. Bapak Suharto Mono Arfa untuk tetap di atas panggung, and for the other excellencies, you may return to your seats. Thank you very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to listen to the keynote speech from the Minister of National Development Planning, the head of Bappenas. Please welcome His Excellency Mr. Suharto Mono Arfa.
Honorable yang mewakili Menteri Dalam Negeri Pak Dirjen, Pak Gubernur Jakarta, and Mr. Nafid Hanif, UN Department of Economic and Social Affairs. And I understand that you need to sleep because the time difference New York and Jakarta. Cukup ya? Pakai yang itu nggak bisa ya? Yang itu? Yang tadi Halo, yes. Mayor, Representative, distinguished speaker, guest, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. As the National Coordinator of SDGs in Indonesia, I'm honored to be part of International Mayor Forum 2024 today. And this event provides an opportunity not only to share our effort on SDGs, but more importantly, to learn how its country integrates the SDGs into their national priorities. During the SDG Summit 2022, the Secretary General of the United Nations stated that the SDGs are not just a list of goals. We have to see SDGs as a mutual responsibility. This is important because recent findings show that only 15% of SDGs targets are on track, while more than 30% are stagnant and have fallen below the 2015 baseline. I will share our progress on the SDGs, believing that many countries share a similar approach. As for SDGs implementation in Indonesia, based on our latest annual report, there are 224 indicators being evaluated, 62% of which are achieved and show significant progress. Meanwhile, the rest need further improvement. Pillars of environment and justice and government are leading with highest achievement. Our achievement in SDGs is relatively good because of the integration of SDGs into national planning system. This ensures that SDGs are implemented nationally. To end, we also analyze current progress compared to 2020 target stated in the book. There are 67 indicators being analyzed. The result is as follows. 42% indicator is on track, 40% indicator need acceleration, and 80% indicators show slow progress or setback. It is imperative that we accelerate the action to achieve the target in the remaining 6 years. Yes, very good. Ladies and gentlemen, in Indonesia, SDGs is integrated into national planning system, which consists of long term of about 20 years, middle term of 5 years, and annual term. In our long-term development plan, 2025, we envision 5 priorities which are social transformation, governance transformation, economic transformation, law supremacy, stability, and Indonesia leadership, and social resilience, culture, and ecology. In each cluster, we identify priority issues and interventions. The six key transition issues highlighted at this event are also our priorities. Moreover, we have embedded this issue into our planning document and formulated policy. First, on food system. The focus is on the integration of food sector into local, coastal, and city environment, and nexus of food, water, and energy. Second, on energy access.
24 International Mayors Forum is about to begin.
The use of renewable energy and green transportation. Third, on digital connectivity. The government works to raise digital literacy, improve the capacity and capability of human resource, and maximize the use of artificial intelligence, big data, and blockchain. Fourth, on education. The government focus on campaigning the 13 years of mandatory education program, enhancement of teaching staff and material, while strengthen education system. Fifth, on social protection and jobs. Our priority is to protect the vulnerable groups and reform the national social protection system. And six, on climate change, biodiversity loss, and climate change. We aim to reduce emission in every sector, raise forest rehabilitation, and disaster management. The issue of city management has become our concern. It is estimated that in 2024, the number of people living in the city will increase to 67.1% from 54% in 2020. Without controlling urbanization properly, this may cause inequality, increased vulnerable group, exploitation of suburban and others. Thus, in the future, developing a city must be based on new urban agenda, which emphasize on the importance of sustainable economic and environment to make sure that no one is left behind. New urban agenda also promotes integrated urban and regional planning, multi-actor governance, and a city built based on people-oriented, it's responsive, and gender-sensitive issues.
Cek.
Governance is the national coordinator for this undertaking and ensure that implementation goes beyond national
Cek.
level. We collaborate with local governments.
1, 2, 3,
the formulation
cek,
of
1, 2, 3,
local
cek.
Jakarta and Surabaya, for example, have submitted their interesting story in their voluntary
Bang.
local review. Other cities and regions which are currently progressing.
Cek.
Let's say
Baby,
Kutai
cek.
Kartanegara, IKN
Cek.
Nusantara, Timur Tengah
Cek.
Selatan,
Jeruk.
in
Jeruk.
and Kalimantan Utara.
Ada
To add,
namanya.
we also work closely with universities. Currently, 51 SDG centers have been established throughout Indonesia. SDG Center has important role in contributing to the preparation of regional action plan, monitoring and evaluation report, and implementation of SDG through research, education, and community development. I would like to convey the following features to accelerate SDGs target toward 2030. First, the SDGs is a collective work which needs multi-stakeholder partnership. Second, in order to realize that involvement and engagement with local government are key to create innovative programs that address various issues in each region. And lastly, we must optimize innovative approach to close the gap in SDGs financing. Before I end my remarks, I want to share the last research by Penn State. Yes, I think this is good to share. As well as we know, yes, through the process of photosynthesis, I will introduce the what's so-called photo respiration. As we know, the process of photosynthesis means trees remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere to produce new energy, new growth, and also at the same time produce the oxygen. But now, under stressful condition, trees release carbon dioxide back to the atmosphere, a process called photorespiration. With an analysis of a global data set of tree tissue, the research team demonstrated that the rate of photorespiration is up to 2 times higher in warmer climates, especially when water is limited. So, and they found the threshold for this response in subtropical climates begin to be crossed when average daytime temperature exceeds roughly 68 degrees Fahrenheit and worsen as temperature rise further. So what I like to say, we have a huge homework, especially for all the mayors. So we are not only to save the people from the climate change, but also the tree. So this is lastly, I hope that International Mayor Forum 2024 as a melting point for the state and non-state actors would provide new perspective and insight through the sharing of best practices so that we can achieve the 2030 target. I do thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Suharto Mono Arfa, for your keynote speech, and you may return to your seat. Thank you, and please give a big round of applause one more time to our Minister. And Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite everyone, ministers, governors, mayors, heads of delegations, speakers, moderators, and all of us to please stand up. And yes, please stand up. We're going to have a very, very tight time on our discussions on the next 3 days as well. So it is time to loosen up some muscles. For those of you who are on the first row and the second row of tables, just remain where you are. But also for you who are in the back of the second row, please come forward. Get a little bit forward. Yes, as SDG says it, no one is left behind. So we want to include everyone in this group photo. So once again, I would like to invite everybody at the very end rows to come forward and join the photo, the group photo together. All right. Do we have a special hand gesture for IMF 2024? Oh, the love, the sarang hai. Okay, that'll do as well. All right, we're still waiting for all of the participants to come forward to be included in this group picture. And don't forget to smile, ladies and gentlemen. Are we ready? All right, our photographers are already on standby. You may wave as well. Don't forget your hand gesture once again and smile in 3, 2, 1. Wave from the back in 3, 2, 1. Other pose maybe? Yeah, you can. Yeah, please give a big round of applause. Of course, that'll do as well. Thank you very much. Wonderful, wonderful opportunity to capture the spirit of collaboration and commitment that defines this forum. So thank you very much, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. That means the opening ceremony of the 2024 IMF is already concluded. And now I would like to invite everyone for a coffee break before we begin our next agenda. The refreshment stalls are prepared just outside this room. And also we have a QR code where you can scan and have the program book of the 2024 IMF this year. You just scan it, as will be seen on the screen, and you will get the program book. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll return with our next agenda 15 minutes from now, and enjoy your coffee break. Thank you.